Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside Pheno Field here in Milford, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. We are delighted to be back here at Pheno to continue our coverage of the MHS baseball team, now pretty deep into the second half of their schedule. Only a couple of short weeks remain in the regular season, including this game here today. Milford with only 7 games remaining on their schedule. They come into today's matchup at 3-10 overall on the year, 3-7 within league play, getting set to take on a Davenport division rival in the Foxboro Warriors. It's been a very tough year for Foxborough. These two teams facing a bit of a rebuild this season. Milford tied for third place with Canton and Sharon. Foxborough currently in 6th place in the Davenport standings with a 2-13 record overall, just 1-11 against Hockomock League competition. And so obviously the record says it all for Milford at this point in the year, coming in at 3-10. That means they would need to win out over these final 7 games of their regular season in order to sneak into a playoff spot. So certainly the playoff expectations are what they are for this team. They're going to have to take it one game at a time, hoping to get a good solid push to the end of the season started here today against a Foxborough team that Milford was able to beat earlier in the year. One of those 3 wins on the season is against this Foxborough team, and it was an impressive victory for Milford. It was an 11-2 win back on April 23rd. It was the team's first victory of the season, so hoping to have more success against this Foxborough team today. Milford continuing to show a lot of promise, showing a lot of young pieces poised and ready to continue to take those next steps forward in their development. So hoping to continue to see progress here in this backstretch of the regular season. Very excited to get this game underway. You could not ask for better baseball weather than what we have this afternoon here at Pheno. It is the Milford Scarlet Hawks getting set to take on the Foxboro Warriors. We will have a live performance of the national anthem here at Pheno, and then we will be back with the starting lineups and the game's first pitch here on coverage of Milford High School athletics on Milford TV. Right back inside Pheno Field, time to get today's game underway. Milford has taken the field, and time to bring you the starting lineups for this afternoon's game. We begin with the visiting Foxboro Warriors. Foxborough under the direction of their first-year head coach, Derek Suis. Leading it off is their center fielder, Joe Freitas, the right fielder, J.T. Burke, batting second. Anthony Malika, the shortstop, bats third, with Chad Bierce in at third base, batting cleanup. Joe Cavallari is the first baseman, batting fifth, with Kyle McGinnis, the designated hitter, batting sixth. Robert Terrio is the catcher, batting seventh, with Devin Hassett, the starting pitcher, batting eighth. And batting ninth, playing left field, is Matt Rongione. Flexed out of the lineup, only playing defensively for Foxborough today, is their second baseman, Jack Franciselli. And for Milford, the starting lineup looks like this. Leading it off is the shortstop, Matt Shaver. Colby Pyers is the third baseman, batting second. Aiden Wild hits third and plays first base, with the catcher, Tyler Almeida, batting cleanup. Matt Nickerson plays left field and bats fifth, with Justin Appleby, the second baseman, batting sixth. Matt Swanson is the DH, batting seventh, with Dan Corsini, the starting pitcher, batting eighth. And in the ninth spot, playing center field, is Nick Marcolini. So both starting pitchers in the starting lineup. Devin Hassett will toe the rubber in the bottom half of the inning for Foxborough, and out there right now for the Scarlet Hawks is Dan Corsini. Already the first pitch of the ball game has been thrown, a fast start. A foul ball on a bunt attempt from Joe Freitas is how we get started. We had a chance to see Luke Rosa turn in a very good start the last time we were here at Pheno Field. Now an opportunity to see Corsini as that pitch misses outside for a ball. Now a swing and a foul ball sent up and out of play. Corsini making his 7th appearance on the pitcher's mound, his 6th start. He comes in with a record of 1-4 and a 3.17 ERA, so good numbers in terms of runs allowed for Corsini. Next pitch grounded to shortstop, ranging over as Shaver sets his feet, and another good throw from Shaver, once again demonstrating an excellent arm. Accurate, right on the money to Aiden Wild, and Freitas is retired on the 6-4 ground out, the 6-3 ground out. So 1 out and the base is empty now for J.T. Burke. And the first pitch into the righty misses inside. Generally, the command for Corsini has been very good on the season. That is the scouting report from Coach Dion, as this ball is rocketed down the right field line, but that is foul. Corsini on the season, 16 strikeouts to only 6 walks. He's allowed 13 earned runs in 28 2/3 innings pitched. And now the 1-1 pitch is a breaking ball that misses high. Very light breeze around the ballpark as the game gets underway. As Corsini pours in a called strike 2 on the outside part of the plate to even the count. And now that count running full. Offenses for both of these teams have been inconsistent as the season has gone on. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's a tapper foul at the plate. Milford through 13 games has scored a total of 47 runs, so scoring a little over 3 runs a game. Foxborough through 15 games has scored just 21 runs. As now Burke pops this pitch up, just barely making it onto the shallow right center field grass. It's the second baseman, Appleby, with no problem hauling in out number 2. Just a step onto that outfield grass, and the first 2 batters retired by Corsini here in the top of the first. That leaves it up to Anthony Malika. Longtime veteran on this Foxborough varsity roster. Widely regarded as their top bat. Takes a pitch up and away. And now a foul ball. Defensively for Milford, it is Tyler Almeida behind the plate, Colby Pyers at third, Matt Shaver at short, Justin Appleby at second, and Aiden Wild at first. Left to right in the outfield, Matt Nickerson, Nick Marcolini, and Sam Naylor. This pitch is fouled down the right field line, out of play. Sam Naylor flexed out of the lineup, so only playing defensively. Both teams with the starting pitcher and the designated hitter in the starting lineup, so each side with a defensive player flexed out. And now another foul ball as Malika fights to stay alive. Fans continuing to file in here at Pheno Field. Certainly a perfect day to come out to the ballpark. The next pitch from Corsini is lifted in the air out to center field. Ranging back is Nick Marcolini. He's there to make the catch. That looked like it might travel over Marcolini's head off the bat, but it held up long enough for the speed of Marcolini to close in and make the catch and finish off a 1-2-3 top of the first inning. Nothing doing for the Warriors. And it will be the Milford Scarlet Hawks who take their first swings of the game when we come back next here on coverage of Milford High School baseball on Milford TV. Foxborough starting pitcher Devin Hassett concluding his warm-ups. Squaring off against Matt Shaver, Colby Pyers, and Aiden Wild in the bottom half of the first inning after Dan Corsini completed a 1-2-3 frame. Devin Hassett is a name familiar to Scarlet Hawks fans going back to, in particular, the fall sports season in which Devin Hassett served as the starting quarterback for the Warriors. His first pitch of the game into Shaver is a fastball for a called strike 1. In what was easily one of the most memorable games of the football season for the Scarlet Hawks, coming through with a major comeback as Shaver slices one to the opposite field. But again, it hangs up and allows JT Burke an opportunity to run it down. On the move, able to make the catch. Very good contact from Shaver, but he's out number 1. Hassett also a part of the Warriors varsity basketball team, so a three-sport star. And facing a three-sport star now on the Scarlet Hawks side in Colby Pyers, so both of these players facing off, also faced off as opposing quarterbacks in that memorable comeback win on the gridiron for the Milford Scarlet Hawks. A good live arm for Hassett as he deals in a strike. Right back into the windup and the pitch. And Pyers able to foul that one away. Colby Pyers batting .220 on the season. 11 hits and an even 50 at bats. Is a pair of doubles and 7 runs batted in. Now sends a ground ball to second base. Sliding in is Franciselli, and still able to get the throw over to first base in time. Plenty of speed for Pyers, but a good job by Franciselli to recover in time to get the throw to first base for out number 2. And Coach Alex Dion coming out of the third base dugout, a brief conversation with the home plate umpire, and now we'll head down to first base. And you wonder with the body language if perhaps Coach Dion is making the argument that Joe Cavallari at first base had to come off the bag to field the throw. The umpires do talk it over, but ultimately the call on the field will remain. So it is 2 outs and the base is empty for Milford, leaving the inning up to Aiden Wild. A big day here for Aiden at Pheno last Wednesday as he takes a pitch upstairs for ball 1. Wild with a 3-hit performance as part of a big win for Milford against the Bulldogs. And one of those 3 hits was career hit number 100 for Wild. In a game that Milford went on to win 11-1. It's the second time this season Milford has come through with an 11-run output. So Wild, who has been such an immense player for the Scarlet Hawks team for all 4 years, gaining a very good milestone. And will work a walk here with 2 outs and the base is empty, and you have to imagine that that is a fairly frequent occurrence for Wild and an opportunity for opposing pitchers to face him with the bases empty, not giving him anything enticing to swing at. Wild coming into the game with an even .500 batting average. Now has 7 walks on the season. As that pitch comes in high, gets away from the catcher, and Wild will head down to second base, takes a wide turn, but will hold there. Terrio had to collect that one from behind by the backstop. And so a wild pitch puts a runner in scoring position now for Tyler Almeida. And all of a sudden now from the stretch, the command a little bit shaky for Hassett. He's gone to 2-0 against Tyler Almeida. Wild with a big lead as the pitch misses high, 3-0. The Hawks trying to make some 2-out noise. And now Hassett able to dot the outside part of the plate with Almeida taking all the way, and the count goes to 3-1. Wild right back out to a lead as that pitch is in for a called strike 2. Almeida being patient. The count now full. Wild a couple of steps for a head start as this ball is grounded to second base. It drifts away from Franciselli. The throw to first base does not get there in time, and Wild, who was off on the pitch, ends up coming all the way around to score without a throw. So just a slow roller to second base. Franciselli, only playing defensively, couldn't squeeze it cleanly. Could not get the throw to first base in time, and it ends up serving as a run-scoring play as Wild comes home to give Milford a 1-0 lead. Should go as an error all the way. A clean play would have easily had Almeida, who now takes off as Matt Nickerson will drive a ball out to center field, but well within range of Joe Freitas, who makes the catch for the out that ends the inning. But in the end, the speed of Wild ends up serving as a factor in this first inning. Milford able to play to run, and after one full, the Scarlet Hawks able to take a 1-0 lead on Foxborough here on coverage of Milford High School Athletics on Milford TV. The Scarlet Hawks score a run without the benefit of a hit in the bottom of the first inning. The two-out walk ending up coming back to hurt Devin Hassett. A wild pitch getting Wild into scoring position, and then an error at second base, along with some heads-up base running, gives Milford a 1-0 lead. Corsini back out there dealing a strike into Chad Bierce. Now the pitch down in the dirt. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count on the Foxborough third baseman, who will take that one inside. Bierce, another familiar name in this lineup. And he'll send this one out into the gap in right center field. A diving attempt by Naylor. He cannot come up with it. It's backed up by Marcolini. And Bierce will hold up with a single. Good opposite field hitting for Bierce, and a tremendous effort in right field by Naylor, showing very good speed. Took a chance and dove for it, nearly came up with the baseball. But credit Bierce with a leadoff single. There's the first hit of the game. And now first pitch swinging, Joe Cavallari grounds one foul down the third base line. Quick throw over to first base. Not a big lead for Bierce. He's able to get back in. We mentioned it, just 21 runs scored on the season for Foxborough. Their only win of the year, or excuse me, their only two victories of the year, a 3-0 win over Franklin on the first day of the season. And then also a 1-0 victory over non-conference Burke. So Franklin 12-3 overall on the season, suffering that loss to Foxborough back on opening day of the regular season. As the pitch is hit in the air out to left field, now towards the line. And Nickerson able to make the catch. Bierce retreats back to first base now with one down. We may be joined here in the press box by a special guest commentator coming up shortly on the broadcast. For now, it's a one-on, one-out situation for Foxborough in the top of the second inning. Kyle McGinnis, the DH at the plate, taking one low for a ball. And now 2-0 the count. The most runs Foxborough has scored in a game this season is 4, and that came during a 13-4 loss to Oliver Ames. As the count now goes to 3-0 against McGinnis. Corsini able to battle back with a called strike. Bierce again creeping out to a lead at first as the pitch misses down and away for ball 4. So the first walk allowed by Corsini. And that now will place 2 on with 1 out ahead of the Foxborough catcher, Robert Terrio. And he starts off looking at a called strike. Corsini trying to keep a lot of these pitches down in the zone. Here's his 0-1. It's fought off foul over to the right. As Terrio flicks that ball off into the bleachers behind the first base dugout. And Corsini's ahead, 0-2. And the pitch, it's popped up foul, that one over the backstop. Looking much more like summer here at Pheno Field than even since the last time we were here back on May 2nd, as the pitch is flown out to shallow center field. Out goes the shortstop, in comes the center fielder. Neither can make the play, but now the throw into third base, and Milford gets bailed out. They were able to get the force play at third. Marcolini, who was playing relatively deep in center field, came charging in. Shaver wandering out into the shallow center field grass. It looked like an easier play for Shaver. But a little bit of lack of communication between the two allowed the ball to drop. But again, Milford getting bailed out in the exchange, getting the force play at third. And now first pitch swinging, Devin Hassett will ground one right to Colby Pyers, who makes the unassisted out at third that will end the inning. So Foxborough able to get 2 on, but they cannot score. And we'll carry on now to the bottom half of the second inning. Milford leading Foxborough 1-0 here on Milford TV. Bottom half of the second inning here at Pheno Field. Corsini able to pitch out of a bit of a jam in the top half of the inning. Foxborough with 2 on, but they could not score. And Milford now with batters 6, 7, and 8 due up in the inning. Justin Appleby to lead it off. And we are very happy to be joined by a special guest here in the Pheno Field press box. Milford High School alumni and former member of the Scarlet Hawks baseball team and captain, Tyler Renaud, joins us in the booth. Tyler, how's it going?
How you doing, Tim? How have you been?
It's been going well so far, and good early results in this game. Milford able to take the 1-0 lead. It's got to be a fun experience to come back after a year at college to see the old team.
Oh, yeah, it's always awesome coming down to Pheno Field. So,
pitch missing high to Appleby. He'll be followed by Matt Swanson and Dan Corsini in the inning.
it's weird coming down here after a year not playing and sitting up here in the booth listening, sitting in the stands.
Next pitch on the way now to Appleby is lifted foul. Giving it a look is Cavallari. He'll go as far as he can, reaching into the stands. And he is able to make the catch.
What a play.
Now, Tyler, you obviously have a ton of experience playing on this field. So much foul territory. It has to be a little bit deceiving when a ball is hit like that. A lot of times you might just make the assumption, well, that's going to go out of play. But sometimes here at Pheno, those balls come back. You can make the play if you stick with it the way that Cavallari was just able to do.
Oh, yeah, with Alex hitting balls up in the air like that, you really get a good view of the ball when you have practice. And a lot of balls, like, you don't know what's going to happen, so you don't know if you're going to hit by the fence or if you're going to catch the ball or not. So you always have to track down every ball and go as fast as you can until you hit your spot.
So 1 out now and the base is empty for Swanson, who swings and misses. Hassett ready with his next pitch. Ooh, and that one is going to drill Swanson. Nowhere to go on a pitch like that. So Swanson now a 1-out runner at first base, and Dan Corsini After 2 scoreless innings on the mound, will take his first at bat. First pitch missing high for a ball. Tyler, obviously, your class last year, 12 seniors on this team, all graduating. It left a lot of roles to fill for this team.
Yeah, it's a lot of young faces here, and it's really surprising. It's really weird. Like, all 12 of us were on the field last year with Aiden always been in the lineup, but it's crazy seeing all these young sophomore, juniors, and a couple seniors on the team filling the lineup.
And meanwhile, just an absolutely tremendous catch out in left center field by Joe Freitas. Corsini putting a charge into that ball. Freitas traveling all the way into the left center gap, into the dive to make the catch. Outstanding defensive play, robbing Corsini of what would have been extra bases. And that will go as out number 2, with Swanson retreating back to first base. And a bat coming up now for Nick Marcolini. Marcolini will take a fastball right on the black on the inside part of the plate for a called strike. And now the pitch fouled down the first base line. Tyler, tell us a little bit about the first year at college for yourself.
Oh, I went to Nichols College up in Dudley Hill, Mass. It's a really small school, but it was an interesting year. It wasn't too exciting, too much. It was really wasn't bad at all.
As this ball ends up getting booted by the shortstop Anthony Malika out into left center field, and Milford will end up with runners at second and third. And a play that should have been the third out of the inning. Malika unable to make the backhanded stab. It gets underneath his glove. And Swanson ends up at third. Marcolini able to take second on the second Foxborough miscue of the day.
Back what I was saying, wasn't bad at all. It was pretty easy. Thought I was going to be playing baseball, but I ended up joining the golf team, and I'm probably going to play there for the next 4 years.
Pitch missing down and away for ball 1. Now, of course, we didn't get the golf coverage that I know the team richly deserved here at Milford High School in your tenure here. But, of course, for anyone who may not know, you were certainly very accomplished on the golf course as well in your Milford career.
Yes. Milford golf will be forever renowned. Ryan Tomaso, Anthony Arcudi out there, give him a couple shout-outs.
A chance here for Matt Shaver with 2 outs in the inning. And the pitch from Hassett. Ooh. And that's in for a strike.
Is this away pitcher, is he young or is he older?
Hassett's been around for a little bit, and a good live arm. Talked about it a little earlier. The quarterback on the football team as well, so he can definitely get it up there with pretty good velocity, and he's able to get the strikeout there to bring an end to the inning. So an opportunity for Milford goes by the boards. But still a 1-0 lead for the Scarlet Hawks. We'll have more with Tyler Renaud when we come back after this here on Milford TV. Still a 1-0 lead for the Scarlet Hawks as Foxborough will bring up Matt Rongione, Joe Freitas, and J.T. Burke in the inning. Corsini with his first pitch. That bounces in for ball 1, continuing to be joined by Tyler Renaud here on the broadcast. Tyler, Coach Alex Dion taking over the reins for Paul Pellegrini here as the head coach of the Scarlet Hawks. You had a chance to work with him as an assistant throughout your high school career. Tell us a little bit about your experience with Coach Dion.
Alex is one of the greatest coaches I've had personally, and one of my best teachers I've ever had. But he's very experienced and knows what he's talking about. He's a great coach, great guy. He's serious about what he's talking about, and he's really passionate about Milford baseball. And this has been his dream job, and I think it's going to be his job for the rest of his career here. But Alex is one of my, I could say, best friends now having as a coach and a teacher, but he's definitely the man.
Matt Rongione with a high chopper in front of the plate, and Corsini fielding his position very well. Able to field that bounce and send a strike over to first base to get out number 1, and now Joe Freitas with a first pitch foul ball to bring the count to 0-1. And now the 0-1. Tyler, I know you had an arm injury that kept you out of the mix for pitching through your senior year. How's the arm feeling these days?
It's getting better. I mean, still doing rehab throughout the year. Like I got June 12th last year, still doing rehab, and it's going well. But I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to get back on the mound. I haven't been on the mound in almost 2 years now, and it's not looking quite. No, it's not looking good. I'll tell you that. But I can still swing a golf club and still do other things. But throwing a baseball is definitely not in my list right now.
Next pitch in from Corsini. That's going to miss low for ball 4, so he ends up losing Freitas. He'll take first. That's the second walk allowed by Corsini this afternoon. Runner aboard ahead of JT Burke, who popped out to second base his first time up. Now a check over at first base. Freitas dives back in safely. That pitch just misses. Tyler, you have a memory here at Pheno Field that maybe stands out more than the rest?
Yes, I do. Actually, I have two. My two favorite memories at Pheno are definitely one at Legion baseball against Alex's team, Northborough. And they're both balls hit by Blake Hill. Blake hit a ball off the 432 tree in right center field and actually got called back to be a triple, which is absolutely ridiculous. And the night here at Pheno Field, probably 7:30 at night, 8 o'clock, Blake missiled one in between the goalpost. And probably the most exciting baseballs I've ever seen hit in my life.
Yeah, I believe the latter was one that we had a chance to cover on Milford TV. And that is a highlight that we have enjoyed watching frequently. But a great atmosphere here at Pheno Field, whether it's for high school baseball and certainly Legion during the summer. It's hard to find a better field for baseball in the area. Big lead at second base as this pitch is fouled away by Anthony Malika after JT Burke grounded out to shortstop, moving the runner along.
Other great memories of Pheno, definitely sophomore year, I got to pitch on senior night. That was my opening appearance, and it was very nervous with like 300, 400 people here, but it was a great experience. Another experience I didn't get to see in Pheno, but I was at Dunkin' Donuts for, is when I heard Aiden Wild's home run hit out of Pheno Field, which was quite exciting for me, and it made me really happy hearing that he actually hit one out of here.
Very good memories all the way around. Malika with a called strike 3 from Corsini to end the inning. So Foxborough strands another base runner. Tyler, it was outstanding getting a chance to spend some time with you.
So much.
Best of luck to you. That is Tyler Renaud joining us here on the broadcast. We will be back with more in just a moment here on Milford TV. Home half of the third inning now. Batters 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Scarlet Hawks. Colby Pyers, the first batter. Jumping ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes against Devin Hassett. And now a ground ball hit on a couple of bounces to shortstop, gathered in by Malika. His throw to first base gets there. A good stretch by Cavallari to secure out number 1. I thank Tyler Renaud for spending some time with us up here in the press box. Always happy to check in with Milford High School alumni. Bring up a lot of good memories from both the high school and Legion seasons of recent memory. Aiden Wild taking a pitch for ball 1. And now a called strike. Tyler demonstrating some outstanding pitching for both the Scarlet Hawks team and the Post 59 Legion team. As that pitch buzzes inside against Wild, he was just able to get out of the way. Tyler pitching a number of high leverage relief situations throughout the 2016 Legion season. Again, as he talked about, suffering an unfortunate arm injury right at the end of that Legion season that ended up carrying over into his senior year, was unable to pitch for either squad, as Wild will take ball 4 for the second time today. The last time Wild worked a walk, he ended up coming around to score on a bizarre play. This play at second base, Almeida was able to beat the throw to first, and Wild coming around from second base to score. And here, Almeida again will hit it to second base. The dive by Franciselli, and this time a good throw to first base gets Almeida. Franciselli can certainly cover a lot of ground. We've seen him with rangy plays both to his left and his right, diving to keep balls on the infield, and that time a good throw is able to get the Milford catcher for out number 2. On the play, Wild is able to move into scoring position as Matt Nickerson takes a fastball for ball 1. And now a wave and a miss will even the count. Swing and a miss by Matt Nickerson, now bringing the count to a ball and 2 strikes as Wild walks out to a lead at second, not being held close. Now the second baseman creeps in. As Hassett delivers to the plate, it buzzes inside, kicks off the glove of Terrio, but no advance from Wild at second. A good hard thrower, Devin Hassett. And able to get it past Nickerson for strike 3. That's the second K for Hassett. He's concluded each of the last 2 innings with a strikeout. And so we are now through 3 full innings from Pheno Field, where it is still Milford 1 and Foxborough nothing, here on coverage of Milford High School athletics on Milford TV. Offense at a premium so far in this one. Milford with the 1-0 lead. They still do not have a hit in the game. Foxborough with the only hit. So 1 run, no hits, no errors for the Scarlet Hawks. No runs, 1 hit, 2 errors for Foxborough. As Corsini falls behind 2 balls and no strikes against Chad Bierce. And now a high fly ball out into left, but not deep. Nickerson is there. He makes the catch. If you happen to be joining us in progress, Milford was able to grab a run in the first inning, thanks to a 2-out walk to Aiden Wild, a Wild pitch getting him into scoring position, and then, as we mentioned last inning, that error at second base. Wild off on contact was able to speed around the bases and score. So Milford with a run thanks to a walk and an error. As this ball is hit on the ground to shortstop, waiting for it is Shaver. Throw to first base. Retires Joe Cavallari. You can't help but get to this point in the high school season and start to think ahead towards Legion baseball, which is right around the corner. We're less than a month away from the projected start of the 2018 Legion season, which may very well be fraught with early season postponements due to the late start to the MIAA tournament. A swing and a miss by Kyle McGinnis as Corsini looks for a 1-2-3 inning. I think you're starting to see some definite candidates emerge on this high school team as Legion possibilities. As this ball is grounded foul, it will trickle off towards the third base dugout. I think both pitchers we've seen so far in our Milford TV broadcasts, Luke Rosa and Dan Corsini, will both get consideration. As this pitch is waved at and missed, it Comes out in front of the plate. Almeida will send the throw down to first base to complete the strikeout. And finish off a very quick 1-2-3 top of the fourth inning. Corsini in a groove. Milford with a 1-0 lead on Foxborough. Home half of the fourth inning is just moments away here on Milford TV. Justin Appleby gets a big cheer from the hometown crowd as he leads off the bottom half of the fourth inning. Facing off against Foxborough starter Devin Hassett. And the first pitch is grounded very slowly on the infield. Hassett will make the play, and the throw to first base to retire Appleby. One pitch and one out is recorded. Hassett and Corsini in the midst of a pitcher's duel. Hassett still has yet to yield a hit to the Scarlet Hawks, despite the 1-0 score in Milford's favor. As this one is stung to the opposite field, and watch out over in the concession stand concourse area. That one dangerously close to some fans off the bat of Swanson. Now a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Swanson hit by a pitch his last time up. Now 2-1. And now a ground ball hit towards shortstop. Backhanded stab by Malika, but he cannot get the throw to first base in time. Well executed that time by the Foxborough infield, but too much speed for Swanson. He's able to beat it out, and that should go as Milford's first hit of the game, an infield single for Swanson. So the hit column now even, with Swanson at first base and Corsini at the plate. And Corsini will send one in the air down the right field line. Burke over, and he is able to make the grab. Corsini out number 2. And so Dan Corsini has made excellent contact through both of his at-bats, and he has nothing to show for it. He was flat out robbed by a tremendous diving catch by Joe Freitas out in left center field back in the second inning. And now sending one hard down the right field line, but JT Burke able to make the running catch. With the glove outstretched, he was just able to haul it in. So we'll take something from Marcolini for the inning to continue. That one down in the dirt. Kicks off back towards the backstop, and Swanson will advance to second base. Nick Marcolini reaching his first time up on an error at shortstop. As now Robert Terrio will pop out from behind the plate to talk things over with Hassett. Hassett now to the set, and the pitch is fouled off to the right. Hassett looking for his third strikeout to conclude an inning. Instead sends it down in the dirt, this time blocked in front by Terrio. No advance for Swanson. And now that pitch misses down and in for ball 4. Marcolini will work the third Milford walk today. And now a visit from the Foxborough coaching staff. We've talked about it all game long. Hassett has shown above average velocity, but at times his command has faltered. The 3 walks, also a couple of wild pitches. One of those wild pitches really opened the door for that run to score back in the first. The only damage done today. So Milford with 2 outs. Runners at first and second base in the top of their order now coming to the plate, Matt Shaver. Shaver takes a first pitch strike. He is 0 for 2, struck out his last time up. And now able to hold up the swing on a pitch that's ruled high. Runners lead off of first and second as the count goes to 2-1. And now the next pitch. 3-1 now. And Hassett, 1 pitch away from loading the bases. And this one comes inside, nearly hits Matt Shaver. He'll take it for ball 4, the second consecutive walk. And so now the bases are loaded with 2 outs in the inning for Colby Pyers, and now the Foxborough coaching staff back out there. And it looks like we will see a change. So Hassett only able to last 3 2/3 despite only allowing 1 hit in the game. And so it looks like we'll see a shift in the defensive alignment as the pitching change is made. We'll step aside. We'll bring you all of the latest information as Milford threatens with the bases loaded and 2 down in the 4th. More to come in a moment here on Milford TV. Anthony Malika comes in from shortstop to take over on the pitcher's mound. He inherits a dicey situation. Milford with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Colby Pyers at the plate. And Pyers will take the first pitch for a called strike 1. Colby today 0 for 2, a pair of groundouts, 1 to second base, 1 to short. The 0-1 pitch. That is low. Pyers looking for a big hit. Takes a pitch down in the dirt to bring the count to 2-1. This is a situation that Milford has been in quite a bit this season, getting runners on with regularity. It's been a question of getting that big hit to drive men in. There's a 2-1 pitch, and it's hit in the air out to shallow right field. In comes Burke, out comes the second baseman, and it is Franciselli at second who's able to drift out to make the catch. And that will retire the side, so the big hit eludes the Scarlet Hawks once again. They leave them loaded. But Milford continuing to lead in the game by a thin margin, 1-0. Scarlet Hawks over the Foxboro Warriors here on Milford TV. We move on to the top of the 5th. It is still 1-0 in favor of the Scarlet Hawks, but Milford squandering a very good opportunity with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 4th, but they could not capitalize. Ending the inning with Aiden Wild in the on-deck circle. So Corsini back out there with not much of a cushion to work with. Facing off against the bottom 3rd of the Foxborough order, the catcher Robert Terrio leading it off. And that drops a little bit low. Terrio reached on a bizarre fielder's choice play his first time up. Now grounds it foul right to the third base coach for the Warriors. Sent a ball out into shallow center field. Shaver and Marcolini with some miscommunication, allowing the ball to drop. However, with runners at first and second base, Milford able to send a quick throw to third to get the force out there. That was the best threat that Foxborough has had to this point in the game. However, a leadoff walk here to Terrio. It's just the second time in the game Foxborough's been able to get their lead runner on. Last time was in that second inning. So 3 walks now allowed by Corsini. As this pitch is down in the dirt, kicks away from Almeida, and down to second base goes Terrio. So that now puts the tying run in scoring position with nobody out. And immediately Alex Dion out of the dugout. Trying to calm down Corsini after the wild pitch. Devin Hassett, the man at the plate, remained in the game after being taken out off of the pitcher's mound in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Ended up taking over in left field, a couple of moving parts in the process for the Warriors. It's a 1-ball, no strike count on Hassett. Grounded into a force play to end the 2nd inning in his only previous at-bat. Corsini now spinning off the pitching rubber, looking Terrio back to second. And now the pitch to the plate misses high with Hassett showing bunt. Two 2-0 the count, the next pitch. And again, Hassett pulling the bat head back, but this time taking a strike. Corsini working very quickly now as this time Hassett gets the bunt down. Corsini thought about the throw to third and now gets it to first base just in time to retire Hassett. Corsini got to it quickly, took a peek over at third. Would have been very difficult to get Terrio. So Corsini making the wise decision, making sure to get an out on the play. But credit Hassett with a sacrifice bunt that now pushes the go-ahead run to third, and it looks like now Foxborough asking the umpiring crew to talk things over, perhaps related to that throw at first base. A very brief conversation. We'll see a pinch hitter now come to the plate, Michael Devlin. Devlin batting in place of the number 9 hitter, Matt Rongione. Rongione had been 0 for 1, grounding out back to the pitcher's mound. Corsini will start off ahead in the count, 0-1. Corsini with 2 strikeouts in the game. This would certainly be a prime time for his third. Almeida trying to frame that 0-1 pitch, but misses outside and low. And now Corsini able to get that one over the plate to bring the count to 1-2. The infield in tight all the way around for the Scarlet Hawks as the pitch misses upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And Foxborough with the tying run at third. Corsini sets, and the pitch. This is a chopper to second base, and Appleby able to hold that runner at third before getting the out at first. So bringing the infield in, paying off for Milford. Appleby getting the out on the pinch hitter, Michael Devlin. 2 down now, and now the infield able to step back to standard depth as Corsini faces Joe Freitas, the leadoff batter. First pitch in the dirt and a good block by Almeida. A 1-0 count on Freitas, who walked his last time up and now pops the pitch up. Playable on the left side of the infield for Matt Shaver. He makes the catch. And an excellent job by Dan Corsini after the leadoff walk. The runner advancing to third base with only one out. Corsini able to hold him there. So it stays a 1-0 Milford lead as we head on to the bottom of the fifth inning. When we return next, again, you are enjoying coverage of Milford High School athletics here on Milford TV. These teams combining for just 1 run on 2 hits through 4.5 innings of play. Milford has had runners on in every inning. Aiden Wild starting things off against the relief pitcher Anthony Malika. Was able to get the final out in the 4th, stranding the bases loaded. Wild now with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Milford stranding a single runner in the first inning, 2 in the second, another in the third, and 3 in the 4th. For a total of 7 runners left on. Wild now ahead 2-1. Aiden has been on base twice. He's walked each time. And now in a 3-ball, 1-strike count. And the next pitch, Wild going after it. Hasn't had many pitches to swing the bat. So taking a chance and now running the count full. And the 3-2, that misses high for ball 4, and it is walk number 3 on the day for Aiden Wild, this time to lead off the 5th inning. That's the 5th walk overall for Foxborough pitching, the first 4 coming from the starting pitcher, Devin Hassett. And they'll quickly check on Aiden Wild over at first base. Almeida takes a pitch inside. He is 0 for 2 so far. Did reach on an error in the first inning. On the play we've talked about quite a bit that gave Milford the 1 and only run so far this afternoon. Almeida grounding out to second base in the 3rd inning. Terrio taking an extra moment to reel that pitch in, but no advance from Wild at first. Now the pitch outside. Once again, we see careful pitching against Milford's 3 and 4 bats. It's now 3-1. Wild sidestepping out to a lead at first. He goes as the pitch is bounced over towards first. It hops out of the glove of Cavallari, backed up. And Foxborough able to get the out. That was Franciselli who was able to make the play on the ricochet out of the glove of Joe Cavallari. And so Almeida out on a play that will ultimately go 3-4, and I believe back to 3, as Cavallari was able to get back to the first base bag to make the play. Wild moving to second base with 1 out. Matt Nickerson at the dish, 0 for 2. Nickerson taking the hands out of the way of that pitch, but it's ruled a strike. Brought some groans out of the Pheno crowd. It was a late arriving crowd, but a lot of fans have filed in here to Pheno to take in this game this afternoon. And now it's the Foxborough side unhappy as that last pitch was ruled a ball, a couple of close ones. And now a ball lifted out into right field, the play made. Two outs now in the frame. Trying to spy the uniform numbers out there to get a handle on the corresponding defensive changes after Hassett came out of the game. Matt Rangione is still at shortstop despite being pinch hit for last inning by Michael Devlin. And now first pitch swinging, Justin Appleby sends one a pretty decent way out into left field, but the catch is made out there by Hassett. And that will be the final out in the bottom of the 5th inning, make it 8 runners now stranded on the base paths for the Milford Scarlet Hawks. We will move on to inning number 6. It is still a very narrow 1-0 lead for Milford over Foxborough here on Milford TV. Corsini back on the hill for his 6th inning of work. Right now working on a 1-hit shutout with 6 outs still to go. Facing batters 2, 3, and 4. JT Burke to lead it off, taking the first pitch low. And now a 2-ball, no strike count on the Foxborough right fielder, who has popped out to second base and grounded out to third in 2 at-bats this afternoon. And now Corsini ready with the 2-1. 3-ball, 1-strike count. Not getting the call on the outside part of the plate that time. And now a wave and a miss. Able to rear back for some extra velocity to get it past the bat of JT Burke, filling up the count. And now a chopper over towards the left side, and Corsini has to play it and couldn't get it out of the glove. Burke will beat it out. Should go as a base hit for Burke, and that is actually the 2nd hit of the game for Foxborough. So Corsini had been working on a 1-hitter. Now allows an infield hit to pace the top of the 6th. And now first pitch swinging. Malika drives one out to right field. Naylor underneath makes the catch. Now sending the throw back into first base as Burke was off on contact. The entire Foxborough dugout roaring for him to get back to tag up. And he is able to get back in ahead of the throw. Malika out on a fly out to right. So the runner remains at first now with 1 down for Bierce. He has one of the 2 Foxborough hits. It came back to lead off the 2nd inning. Corsini a peek to first base, now comes home, and that's a strike. A ball and a strike on the Foxborough 3rd baseman. And now a quick pickoff check over at first base. But Burke able to get back standing. Now the runner takes off. The pitch drops down in the dirt, and no chance for Almeida to make a throw. Burke timed that well, gets the stolen base, and now once again Foxborough will get the tying run in scoring position. Almeida now will talk things over with his starting pitcher. This makes the 4th inning in this game that Foxborough's been able to get the tying run into scoring position. But each time Corsini's found a way to wriggle out of danger. Right now, no one loosening in the bullpen for Milford, so this is Corsini's inning. A breaking ball that misses to Bierce, who looked to stick that left elbow in there a little bit to try to get the contact. And now a swing and a miss. Big swing for Bierce. That's now an even count of 2 balls and 2 strikes as Burke gets a lead off of second. And the pitch fouled off. Foxborough bench trying to cheer on the man at the plate, Chad Bierce. Visitors hoping for a late inning rally. Here's another. That one missing high for ball 4. So down to first for Bierce, and now it looks like we might have a pinch running situation. Indeed, Sean Morris to run for Bierce. That's 4 walks now for Corsini. And Coach Dion back out of the dugout. Another key moment. Milford with ample opportunities to tack on to this lead. Milford twice getting a runner to third. They had 2 in scoring position in the 2nd inning, and of course, that bases loaded chance in the 4th, both times failing to capitalize. So we play on with the 1-0 score. Foxborough with 2 runners aboard for Joe Cavallari, the first baseman. And he takes the first pitch wide for ball 1. Cavallari 0 for 2. And now takes a strike. 1-1 the count. And now a hard ground ball. That's through the left side of the infield. And Nickerson cannot play it cleanly. Around from third base comes Burke. He will score. Throw comes into third. And it is not in time. So Burke comes around from second base to score. That ties the game at 1. Nickerson, had he come up with the ball cleanly, may have had a chance for a play at the plate. But once the bobble occurred, no problem for Burke to score the equalizer. The pinch runner Morris able to go from first to third. So Cavallari coming through with the RBI single. And then meanwhile, Coach Dion making the decision to intentionally walk Kyle McGinnis. That loads the bases for Terrio. And he hits a ground ball to second base, waiting for it as Shaver gets the out at second base. The throw to first is not in time. Milford unable to complete the inning-ending double play, so in the back door from third comes Morris. And so 2 runs now in the inning for the Warriors. They take a 2-1 lead. Cavallari now the lead runner at third base. Terrio will be awarded the RBI as he was able to leg that one out, reaching on the fielder's choice. And now first pitch swinging, Hassett dumps one out into shallow center field. It lands for a hit. Into score comes Cavallari. And it's now 3 runs home in the inning for the Warriors. So after both offenses had been frustrated through the majority of the day, Foxborough able to break out. As now this ball is tapped down the first base line, foul by Matt Rangione. So Rangione pinch hit for the last time through, but now back in there. And now a ball hit over to third base. It kicks off the glove of Pyers. Now another run will come around from second base as Terrio scores. So what should have been the third out of the inning ends up an error as that ball glances out of Pyers' glove. Shaver couldn't back it up. It's now a 4-1 Foxborough lead, so Corsini, who had cruised through the first 5, running into a lot of difficulty here in the 6th. And now a hard ground ball. That gets underneath the glove of Pyers. Into score comes Hassett. Another run to the plate as the ball kicks away. And Almeida can't find it. And that will allow Freitas to wind up at third base as 2 more runs cross the plate. And a disastrous inning. As Foxborough now bats around in the inning. Six runs and counting in the frame for the Warriors. Turning a 1-0 Milford lead into a 6-1 Foxborough lead. Still not done. The man who started this inning, JT Burke, now up for the second time. Reached on an infield single. And now he sends one off the end of the bat. That will reach out into right. And trotting home is Freitas, so that errant throw to the plate that kicked away from Almeida proves to be very costly. And a 7-run inning in the making for the Warriors. Boy, has the complexion of this game changed. So Burke with his second hit of the inning. That's an RBI to go along with it. And a chance now for Malika, who flew out to right field earlier in this 6th. The runner taking off for second base. The pitch high, and not a good throw from Tyler Almeida. That one almost caught a piece of Corsini on the way by. So a steal for Burke, and Foxborough not taking their foot off the gas pedal. Now a hard ground ball to shortstop. Shaver has it. He throws to first to get the out that finally brings an end to the top of the 6th inning, but not before some serious damage is done. As the Foxborough bats come to life, they score 7 times, and they now own a 7-1 lead over Milford as we head to the home half of the 6th next here on Milford TV. A called strike in from Anthony Malika as the Milford bats come to the plate in a very different situation than when they were last here. Milford taking a 1-0 lead into the 6th, but Foxborough exploding. 7 runs on 6 hits in the top half of this 6th inning. So Foxborough giving Milford a little taste of their own medicine after Milford was able to notch a big victory on Foxborough's home field. That's a fair ball rolled down the first base line. Cavalieri takes care of it all by himself. Mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, 11-2 Milford able to walk away with that win in Foxborough back on April 23rd. Looked like the Hawks were in position to grab a victory here today in what was a well-pitched ball game over the first 5 innings, but Corsini running out of steam. The defense also contributing to the problem in that top half of the 6th. And now a called strike into Corsini. Malika working quickly, and now a ground ball hit to second base. Franciselli to first. And it's 2 up and 2 down. Couldn't help but have a feeling that when Milford was not able to push across any additional offense in that bases loaded opportunity in the 4th, that might come back to hurt them. Now trail by 6 with 2 outs and the base is empty, and now Nick Marcolini swinging at the first pitch. He grounds to second, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Anthony Malika. 3 quick ground ball outs, and that sends us right on to the 7th. It is Foxborough 7 and Milford 1 here on coverage of Milford High School baseball on Milford TV. Corsini returning to the hill after that very tough 6th inning, facing 11 batters, allowing 7 runs scored on 6 hits after he had been pitching a 1-hitter through the first 5. But Foxborough getting on a roll. It'll be Bierce, Cavalieri, and McGinnis, batters 4, 5, and 6 in the Foxborough order in the top of the 7th. Batting now with a 6-run cushion. Milford coming into this game with a record of 3-10, meaning one more loss on the season would officially put an end to their playoff hopes. So despite, or I should say, unless Milford can come up with a big-time 7th inning rally, they will officially be eliminated from playoff contention here this afternoon. Bierce now with a ground ball to shortstop. Shaver, clean play to first. That will bring up Joe Cavalieri, who had the hit that really got that rally going last inning, an RBI single with 1 out. And now swings to the first pitch, loops it out to shallow right center field in a tricky spot, and that will land out of the reach of Appleby, who got twisted around as he raced into the shallow right center field grass. So not hard hit. In fact, you could hear Cavalieri exclaim in frustration as he made contact, but that ends up dropping for a base hit, and now Cavalieri 2 for 4. As Kyle McGinnis jumps on the first pitch but sends it foul. McGinnis has walked twice in the game, once intentionally, and he's also struck out. Sees the count now go to 1 ball and 1 strike. Barely a cloud in the sky overhead here at Pheno Field. Beautiful conditions, but score of this game not looking too beautiful for Milford fans, as McGinnis goes after a pitch that bounced in the dirt in front of the left side batter's box. Wild swing. And now that pitch misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out, and a runner at first. The pitch fouled off. Milford will have the top of their order up in the bottom half of the 7th inning, needing at least 6 runs to tie. Runner takes off from first as the pitch is fouled away. The 2 softball teams from these schools underway over in Foxborough. Getting an update moments ago that I believe was 17-0. That lead in favor of the Milford Lady Scarlet Hawks. As this pitch is popped up into shallow left field, the out is made. McGinnis retired. So barring a massive comeback for the Lady Warriors, Milford's unbeaten streak will continue. They ended up with a mercy rule win on the road last Friday against Newton North. As now Terrio sends one hard out into left field, but Nickerson able to make the catch for the out that ends the inning. We'll continue the softball chatter when we come back for the bottom half of the inning. It is a 7-1 Foxborough lead over Milford right here on Milford TV. Anthony Malika back out on the hill. He has been very good in relief in this game. Misses with ball 1 against Matt Shaver. So far working on 2 1/3 innings of scoreless relief. Came in with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning back when this was a very different game. And just a pop out of Colby Pyers to end the inning. Since then, the only runner he's allowed on was a leadoff walk to Aiden Wild in the 5th. Shaver now with a ground ball to second base. A little uneasy is Franciselli, but he's able to get the short throw to first base in time. Nothing has been particularly easy hit to second base today, but most of them have been handled in the end. So Milford down to their final 2 outs as Pyers stands in. Pyers with a foul ball in on the hands, a ball that ricocheted back and sent his helmet flying. Bizarre swing. Pyers has had a tough day, 0 for 3 at the plate. He was the man at the dish with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 4th, but popped up to end the inning. Also committed an error at third base that further contributed to the Foxborough 6th inning offensive explosion. Takes a close pitch on the outside part of the plate, ruled a ball. The next pitch from Malika is waved at and missed. The ball gets away. Terrio tracks it down, the throw to first base, and it gets there in time. Good recovery for Terrio. Completes the strikeout of Pyers, 2 up and 2 down. And that leaves the inning and the game up to Aiden Wild. Wild has been on base all 3 times he's come to the plate. All 3 times he has walked. He scored back in the first to give Milford a 1-0 lead. For a time, it looked like that lead might just hold up with the way this game was going, but everything changing in the top of the 6th inning. Next pitch. This is up and in. And even with the game seemingly out of reach, Foxborough still not wanting to give anything enticing to Wild. Malika able to sneak in a strike right at that bottom inside corner. And now a line drive out to center field. In at first was Freitas, but now backtracks. And he's able to make up the ground to make the catch for the out that ends the inning and the ball game. So a disappointing finish to this one, as Milford ends up on the losing end of a 7-1 final score. So with the loss, Milford will drop to 3-11 on the season, officially eliminating them from playoff contention. Foxborough able to grab their 2nd victory against Hockomock League competition, their 3rd win overall on the season, to improve to 3-13. Plenty of home games remain on the schedule for the Scarlet Hawks. They will next be in action here at home on Wednesday in a tough battle against first place 10-1 North Attleboro. We hope to be here for coverage, weather permitting, on Wednesday. In the meantime, a big thank you to our Milford TV crew, our director John Giacomuzzi, and our camera operator Rob O'Keefe. And I am Tim Coette. Your final score one final time from Pheno Field. Foxborough defeats Milford by a final score of 7-1. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.